is you have the chat in the middle where it pops up. Just look for the X in the corner and you can exit out.
Okay. It's not doing that. And there's a cancel, so I don't want to touch it. All right, I can't exit out. I'm not going to take a chance. I don't want to have to come back again. Jacob Priley, you work for Dick, right?
No, work for Brad.
You work for Brad?
Wait, are you secretly working for Dick on the
No,
side?
no, I thought that I met, please.
That
Yeah,
makes
we
a
all
lot of
work for
sense
Dick
now.
Godfrey. We all work for Dick Godfrey. Actually, the truth is, yes, we do.
Hi.
Okay,
Hello.
Hi, Jerry.
What I did.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
Thank God.
Excellent.
Jerry, hello, okay, well, you know what? Hi, Jerry.
Hi.
We have Jerry, we have Scott Rothschild.
Rothschild.
Rothschild, isn't that a wonderful name? Yes. Okay, waiting for Dick, but should we start? Mindy?
Yeah.
5 after. Okay, good evening, and wow, Mindy tells me that there are 42 people online, and it's
Now it's
very,
52. But actually, before you start, Fran, actually, can everybody please put themselves
Okay.
on mute unless they're going to be speaking, right away. Thank you.
okay. I just want to do a real quick overview. We're going to start out with the 2 memorials, then we have the 4 award ceremonies. Jerry Nadler is going to be first. And after that, it remains to be seen. At 8 o'clock, that's the first hour. At 8 o'clock, Kathy Hochul will speak. And then whoever comes online who wants to chit chat about themselves, we're expecting Carolyn Maloney, who is coming by on Brad Lander, Carlina, Dan Court, and that's who we're expecting, but we never know. People come, people that we weren't expecting come, et cetera, et cetera. Anyhow, good evening to all. For all of you who know me, I'm Fran Hazelcorn, and I'm on the New York State Democratic Committee from the 75th AD. The first person that I'd like to introduce is Kathy Nazari. Kathy is a member of the CRDC Executive Committee, has great interest in conservation, and tonight she's going to be talking about and eulogizing her friend, Judy Richheimer, who was once CRDC's president and was a longtime member. And she was the first person that I know who died of COVID, and she died last March. So please, Kathy, it's your time.
Thank you, Fran. Hello, everybody. When I joined CRDC, I didn't know a soul, but Judy Richheimer welcomed me with open arms and inspired me to become involved in the club. She believed in me and became somewhat of a mentor. Judy had a way of making people feel like they were the most important person in the room. So often now, I wish I could reach out to her to share my experiences, to ask for advice, or tell her a funny story. I miss her terribly. Both fire signs, we had loads in common and became fast friends. Vintage clothing, foreign film, Italian red wine, red lipstick, dining out, learning new things, walking, talking on the phone for hours late at night like 2 teenage girls with that same level of exuberance. Judy really loved life, and it loved her right back. She was a keystone of the CRDC for 15 years, serving 2 terms as president and several as exec VP. She gave 110% to this club, booking speakers and organizing forums. In fact, she and I had planned on a climate emergency panel until the cruel coronavirus put us into lockdown and took her life. Judy made our meetings dynamic and interesting, just like she was. She fought continually for and wrote about universal health care, affordable housing, commercial rent control, small businesses, landmark preservation, which she knew so much about, having been a certified tour guide. LGBT rights, the climate crisis, accessible transit for the disabled, and protecting democracy. Judy was a gifted writer, a lefty, a progressive. She supported the underdog and cherished being a judicial delegate. She loved her community and was a true leader. Always energetic, Judy took numerous bus trips to Albany and other states to push causes like ending solitary confinement. She canvassed tirelessly, attended countless rallies, and testified at the city council to save local businesses. As a member said, Judy was a true liberal warrior, smart, skillful, gracious, and a champion for democratic values. She was an asset to CRDC and is irreplaceable. The last time I saw Judy, we had attended an animal rescue law forum at the County Lawyers Association on BC Street. Of course, she knew the history of the building, and when I introduced her to some fellow activists, I just marveled, as I always did, at her ease and ability to engage in conversation with complete strangers. She always had something interesting to say. We went for and I use quotation marks, quick drink at our spot. No conversation with Judy was ever quick. 1 hour inevitably turned into 4. And without fail, someone or someones would come over to chat. It was as if Judy was holding court. She knew everyone, and people loved Judy. It was easy to see why. One of the things I really loved about her was her huge heart. She had such a generous spirit and was thoughtful and kind.
Great. Do you have your camera on?
Judy was selfless and inspiring. A true
Don't.
New Yorker, she had class and style. I wish the world had more people like her in it. Judy had such a thirst for knowledge and experience. In many ways, she was a typical Leo. Warm, passionate, charismatic, feisty, protective of those nearest and dearest. I can't believe she's gone. Judy was my friend, a dear friend, an integral part of this community, and she will not be forgotten. Her legacy inspires some of us to fight the good fight with compassion and conviction, and always in good spirits with a smile that lights up a room. Please join me in a moment of silence to honor Judy Richheimer.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. That was lovely. Brad? Hi. Tonight we have another person, Brad Hoyleman, who's from the 27th Senate District, who has had a fabulous legislative record of LGBTQ, reproductive freedom, gun safety, just to name a few. Thank you for taking the time to be here tonight, to be off your trail. And he's going to speak about Judge Paul Feynman, who died recently. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Francine and Mindy and Sylvia and Charles. Congratulations, Charles. Congratulating you now. And Kathy, those were beautiful words. A wonderful tribute. And it's good to see Congressman Nadler, and I'm sure Assemblymember Gottfried is here, if not all soon, if not now. And my fellow candidates, including Eric Botcher. It's really great to be here. You know, it's really an honor to speak about a few words about our friend, Judge Paul Feynman. As the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, it's not quite the Judiciary Committee in the House of Representatives, but it does serve a very important role in our state courts. So I've met with my fair share of judges through that role. And believe me when I say there was no finer jurist than Paul Feynman. I knew Paul and know his husband, Robert, well, and have followed Paul's career for over 20 years. He had a long history with this club and our community. CRDC supported him from the time he was a civil court judge. Recently, I was speaking with your former district leader, Tom Schuler, who shared with me that when Paul won his first campaign, there was no celebration, no balloon drop. It was, a modest event, which, especially for those who run for public office, is somewhat unusual. Paul loved his job. He spent his life dedicated to justice and earned the respect and admiration from his peers in the legal profession. He had a flair and a leadership quality that just drew people in and made them want to work with him. His pursuit and drive for excellence stemmed from his profound intelligence and thoughtfulness, qualities that we saw him display as a consensus builder all throughout his career, and while he was on the bench of the Court of Appeals. And his presence on the highest court in New York State was nothing short of historic. He was the first openly gay nominee and sitting judge on the Court of Appeals. When I spoke on the floor of the Senate during his confirmation back in June 2019, I recall a group of children that were visiting the Capitol that day. They walked through the halls totally in awe of what they saw, that incredible Gothic architecture. And the power of our example then, of our history-making confirmation of Paul at that moment, probably meant more than we'll ever know. On June 21st, 2017, the Senate confirmed him unanimously. His service was a much-needed reminder of our state's commitment to tolerance, diversity, and really human dignity. Paul's place on the bench was and remains an inspiration to aspiring LGBTQ lawyers who felt and probably still feel in some ways shut out of the legal system that not too long ago was criminalizing people like them for who they are. We still have so much more to do to make our justice system fair. And I know that Paul woke up every day thinking about his role in that. Even when he was sick, Tom tells me, he continued to work in the hospital. When he had his first stem cell transplant, he continued to write opinions and handle motions, working from one of the chairs in the room. And he was still in meetings up until March. He was smart, hardworking, and caring, and we should all try to emulate those qualities. He's going to be missed dearly. His life of public service was a gift to all New Yorkers. And I really mourn the loss of this great inspirational force. So may his memory be a blessing, and may we reflect for a moment about the life and service of Judge Paul Fineman.
Also.
Thank you so much, Francine.
Thank you very much, Brad. And now we move on to our man in the Upper West Side, Congressman Gerald Nadler, who is special friend to all of us and a special friend to the United States. And all of you watched him carefully as we got one impeachment from the Congress. Congressman Nadler is going to do two things for us tonight. The first thing is that he's going to speak about what's going on in Washington. And after he finishes that speech, he's going to present an award to Scott Rothschild from the fire department. So Jerry, the floor is yours, please.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to be able to see so many of you here tonight. I cannot wait to be able to join all of you in person soon. The past year has been one of the most challenging in a long time for all of us. We've lost amazing people like Judy Richheimer to COVID, and we'll look back at this period as a time of great pain and loss. In Washington, it's been a period of great turmoil. We have the aggressive the aggressive program the president has put forward. We've seen terrible lows like the presidential campaign last year and the insurrection in January, but we've begun to turn the course to one of great hope. With your help, we were able to remove a real fascist from the White House, hold the House, and flip the Senate, giving us the first working Democratic governing majority since 2010. As we approach 100 million people vaccinated in the US, a feat of modern medicine and a demonstration of what we can do as a country when we're unified and determined, we've also an opportunity for tremendous change. President Biden has put forth an aggressive and expansive relief and investment package that will be able to help us rebuild into the society we ought to be, rather than the society we were before. Relief is beginning to reach small businesses through the Shuttered Venue Relief Program, to the restaurant revitalization grants that should be accepting applications soon. It's also reaching individuals, from stimulus checks to the rent, mortgage, and maintenance relief being administered by the state. And soon we will pass, we hope, we think, a real infrastructure package that will invest not just in our transit system and bridges, but in our environment through water and energy improvements, in jobs, American jobs, through manufacturing, prevailing wages, and in our families through childcare, schools, housing, and public housing. We have a lot of work ahead of us and many fights in the Senate. The biggest obstacle we have is the Senate, where we have no votes to spare, and we've got a few people, Senator Manchin, Senator Sinema, who are doubtful in some of this, but I do think we'll get most of it through. Of course, we've got the filibuster, but you can get around the filibuster and a lot of these things if we can get the support of anything fiscal. Anything with any fiscal implications, you can get around through reconciliation, for which you need Senator Biden and Senator Sinema, and I think we'll compromise and get most of what we need through that. We have a lot of fights ahead of us, obviously, and especially in the Senate, as I said. I'm incredibly proud to stand with all of you in doing the hard work ahead. Tonight, we're honoring some of the many heroes of COVID, the amazing EMS men and women who serve our community in some of our darkest hours. I'm sure many of you remember the terrible days and nights of last March and April, when it seemed nearly all you could hear in the city was an awful silence, or the wail of sirens, or at 7 o'clock, the banging of pots and pans. Each of those sirens marked someone struggling with their life. And next to each of them caring for our neighbor in need was one of the incredibly brave heroes of FDNY and EMS. We owe the men and women of the department a debt that can never be repaid. These are the folks who have served New York through 9/11 and now a deadly pandemic, risking their own lives to save ours for the whole stretch from 9/11 until now. We're incredibly grateful. Tonight, Captain Scott Rothschild, is accepting the award on behalf of the Fire Department at EMS Station 7 on 23rd Street. The station has done an invaluable service in covering emergencies from the Hudson River to Fifth Avenue, from Washington Square to the south, and Columbus Circle to the north. The men and women were placed on 12-hour duty to meet pandemic needs, and we here in the community should consider them family. Thank you, Captain Rothschild, for your service, and thank you, EMS Station 7. And with that, I'll pass this award over. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Nadler. Here's the award. We do greatly appreciate this, and I do accept this on behalf of everybody at Station 7. Thank you to the Chelsea community, the Democratic Reform Club, for showing all their support to us. I'm truly honored and humbled to be here on behalf of everybody. The last year has been very difficult for a lot of people, and we lost a lot of friends, we lost family. Without the love and support from the Chelsea community, it brought us all together. I'm not just part of the station over here at EMS Station 7. I got here last May when I took over the station, and I didn't just become part of the station here and their family. I consider myself part of the Chelsea family as well, who accepted us, and they helped us get through this. It wasn't easy, and we couldn't have done it alone. But with the help from everybody from the Chelsea community, it brought everyone together. The Chelsea community did a fund drive for us, a GoFund to help support us. At the same time, they helped support the local businesses. Mr. Botcher and everyone else in Chelsea and the community were being great. And we could not have done this alone. And on behalf of Station 7 and the fire department, we truly thank you. And I'm humbled and honored to be part of the community and the station. And we'll continue to serve you guys the best that we can. Thank you very much. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you, Scott. That's a very good thing to clap. And thank you, Congressman Nadler. Thank you so much for joining us and bringing us up to date. And
You're very welcome.
we really appreciate that. Okay, Richard Gottfried seems not to have arrived, but we do have Eric Botcher and Gary Shokit. So Eric Botcher, who you all know, took time off of his campaign trail to be with us. So you're on, Eric.
Thank you, Fran and Mindy and Sylvia and Charles. Thanks so much for this opportunity. I really want to thank you for this opportunity to present the Penn South Social Services, accepted by none other than my good friend, Gary Shoykit. And CRDC picked some really great honorees tonight. I really want to congratulate FDNY EMS Station 7, Joanne Sinovoi and Darlene Waters, much deserved for all that you do for our community. Penn South Social Services was created in 1986 when there emerged a true need for services for Penn South's older population. And today, the program assists nearly 1,200 individuals and their families each year with case management, healthcare assistance, health promotion, programming, and perhaps the best part, Nathan Kaplan's music program. I see Nathan Kaplan here tonight. And I've seen firsthand the difference that this program has made in the lives of our neighbors here in Penn South over the years. But over the last year, this program has been nothing short than extraordinary and has truly saved lives right here in Chelsea. Because over a year ago, when the shutdown occurred, overnight, people were told to stay home, and our immediate concern was for the older adults and people in other high-risk groups who couldn't leave their apartments for their own safety. And many of these folks depended on meals from senior centers. They depended on being able to go to senior centers to get their meals. And it presented a real problem that they weren't able to leave. And others depended on home health aides that weren't able to get to them overnight. Some of the home health aides were sick themselves. So it was a true emergency situation. And within Penn South, the staff and volunteers of Penn South Social Services sprang into action. And working remotely, the staff and the volunteers, they called every senior in the complex to make sure that they were safe, healthy, to make sure that they had medicine and food and care. And these are efforts that are continuing today. And, during that time, when I was with the Speaker's office, we were getting food from many different sources, from the Met Council on Housing, from Fresh Direct, from Trader Joe's. A lot of this came last minute, and Penn South Social Services was always receptive. Last minute, a lot of the times I would call and say, I have 200 meals this morning. Can you take them? And they always said yes. And just to name one example, last Christmas Eve day, I got a call from someone who had several hundred Christmas Eve dinners from high-end restaurants in Manhattan, and they needed to distribute these on Christmas Eve. And I called a few complexes, but it was too late to arrange delivery at a lot of these places. But Penn South Social Services said, bring them here. And Petra Shine delivered them to seniors on Christmas Eve. And it was a couple days worth of food. And I really believe that over the last year, because of Penn South Social Services, untold numbers of lives were saved because the infection rate at Penn South stayed low because people weren't forced to go out and risk their lives. Lives were saved. And when we look back on this time, we're gonna tell stories of how people came together in unbelievable ways, as only New Yorkers do, just like we did after 9/11, after Superstorm Sandy. You know, New Yorkers, we have a tough exterior and we put on a tough act, but when our fellow New Yorkers need help, we're there for each other. We come together. And that's what Penn South Social Services is doing right here in Chelsea. And it's so fitting. And I'm so happy that Gary Shoykit is accepting this award on behalf of the organization, because since Gary became the board president, he's just taken the organization to new heights with Matthew Kahn and others. And he does it with one of the best senses of humor I think I've encountered ever. So it's my honor and pleasure for significant contributions to the good health and welfare of Penn South residents, as it says on the award, to present this award to Penn South Social Services. Congratulations.
Throw it to me, Eric. Throw it.
I told you we had a good sense of humor, and right out of the gate.
You have it.
Well, I had to do something because everything I was going to say, you already said, but that's not really true. We, on behalf of the board of there was 18, we now have 17 board members. Penn South Social Services thanks the Chelsea Reformed Democratic Club. The only connection I have is that for 5 years, I worked for Bob Trentline, who was one of the founders in the in the late 50s. So I also would like to thank 4 people, Corey, Brad, Dick, and Eric, for all the help that we have gotten over the years from them, both financial, which is really important, obviously, to a nonprofit organization, and I don't want to say spiritual, but supportive. Thanks to all the volunteers. Petra, who some of you can see on the screen here, was superwoman in terms of always being available. A couple of, and thank you, Petra. Couple of the things we've done was sort of new. What Eric was talking about is last June we started co-sponsoring with the LGBT Q group a Black Lives Matter vigil every Friday. Now it's 5:30 to 6 on 8th Avenue between 24th and 25th Streets. Everybody is welcome. Please join us. We usually get anywhere from 30 to 50 people. Eric talked about the senior program, which has been extraordinary. All the social workers probably worked harder than when they were in the office. If anybody could see this office, which has been vacant except for a lot of masks and other things, it really needs a cleaning. Maybe a street cleaning, Eric. Kind of like a Chelsea street, maybe. We also started a program, and we have, working with Chelsea Apothecary, which is the only drugstore left in Penn South, of vaccinating people in one of our community rooms. And I think we might have done 600 or 700. Petra, shake your head if I'm right. Yes, 600 or 700 people have gotten their first and second shots.
I think
we're-
even more than that.
That's what I think too.
Yes, yes.
And we are continuing with, now that everybody can be vaccinated, the program will continue. In the fall, or when we reopen, we will be planning for a new dementia daycare center, which will operate probably 2 or 3 times a week. It's after falling, it's the biggest problem at Penn South. You know what? I've said enough. Thank you very much. I'll probably remember the other things later, but it's too late. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you both. And now, we now have Dick Godfrey. Dick is a special assemblyman who's the longest serving person in the state government. And he's been in Chelsea, I picked out a couple of things. One of the things that he was responsible for in Chelsea was helping to get the Hudson River Park. He's a sponsor of the Gender Discrimination Act. I just picked a few things. And I don't know if it's maybe he's the author of the passed assembly bill for universal health care, which has been one of his special loves. And Dick, you're on, and he's going to present an award. Thank you for coming tonight.
Well, thank you, Fran, and thank you for having me. It's terrific to be able to present the Club Service Award to Joanne Sinovoi. She has done just such extraordinary work for the Chelsea Club and for the Chelsea community for so long. As a volunteer at the St. Peter's Soup Kitchen and Holy Apostles Soup Kitchen, and helping to feed the members at Chelsea Reformed Democratic Club meetings, providing the refreshments at all our meetings, working with the Clearwater, and just so many other things, petitioning, being a county committee member, a judicial delegate. You know, there's not a lot of glamour in the county committee and the judicial delegates. Not a lot of glamour in circulating petitions. It's a lot of work, often under kind of unpleasant conditions. And, you know, our democracy, certainly in New York, depends on people like Joanne working day in and day out for the community, for the Democratic Club, for getting people on the ballot, for making sure that there are good people in bodies like the county committee and judicial delegates. There's just so much that Joanne does that is so essential to the community and to democracy. I'm just thrilled to be presenting her the Club Service Award. Joanne, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Dick. I've got a little speech here. It's not much. First off, I have my award right here. It's beautiful. I've never gotten any kind of award ever in my life. Just want to say that. And that wasn't on my speech. First off, what I really want to say is, I want to say thank you so much to Phyllis Shanley for nominating me. I had no idea. And I really, really appreciate her nominating me. I want to thank you all so much for this award. And I feel honored to accept this award for community service. Has always been fun. I really always enjoy it. I look forward to all the events I have physically missed in the past year, and there's been a lot of them. I'm slowly getting back into things around the community. I did the calls for Eric. I've done some stuff for Brad and, you know, that kind of thing around the community. And I enjoy all that, but it's not the same. I enjoy being a judicial delegate. I enjoyed all those parties, all those meeting and all that stuff I really enjoyed. And I really am very excited to get this award. And, you know, to me, it was not work. It was, like I said, it was fun. And I really thank each and one of you. You've all made my day. It's so, so much appreciated. Thank you so much again.
Hello. Hi. It's Fran again, your host for the evening.
Fran?
One of the hosts. I don't know what happened to my picture. Anyhow, I don't know how it works. It doesn't, I'm supposed to be shown.
You're
when
there,
I-
we see you.
Oh, okay, okay.
See, it's right there.
Okay, to my dear audience, I have a special favor to ask of you, okay? We have done 3 of the awards. The 4th award is going to be a presentation tape from Corey Johnson to Darlene Waters. It will be cued in a minute. At 8 o'clock, we are expecting the Lieutenant Governor, Kathy Hochul, and she's on time, and she's calling in, she's coming from LaGuardia because she has to take a flight. So we have a little time, and we do have online a person by the name of Greg Negbar, who is a Chelsea resident, who's a multi-talented pianist, vocalist, composer, who does jazz, blues, and American root song. And what I would like to do is, he has a medley that I asked him for, which takes 6 minutes, and of New York songs. So after we watch the tape from Corey Johnson, I would like to have him do his songs, and that should take us about to 8 o'clock. We have one more person, Charles, to say something. So I ask your indulgence, and I ask you all to stay for Kathy Hochul, because you never know what could happen with Kathy. All right. Mindy, Mark, can you cue the tape up from Corey Johnson? Okay, I don't know how to start it. I don't know a thing about it.
Mark does it. Don't worry about it, Fran. You don't do anything.
Thank you, thank you.
Just cue, it's a video's just getting queued up.
Okay, thank you. This is beyond my Zoom capability.
Virtually join Chelsea.
Unknown caller.
Hi, Abby.
Hi, Fran.
Fran, mute yourself. No. 1 second, we're just getting the video queued up. Nope.
Can you guys hear me?
No.
You can't hear me?
I hear you.
Yes, we hear you.
Okay,
Okay, well, somebody's hearing you.
are we online? I know I got bounced off. Is everybody online?
Yes.
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 Okay,
And
all
just-
right, here we go. Here we go. Democratic Club, I am so happy to be able to virtually join my whole club. I want to thank all the officers and members of CRDC for the hard work in putting this event together, specifically from the CRDC president, Ms. Garcia, District Reconciliation, Trails Mayor, their contribution. I want to congratulate and thank all of the wonderful honorees who we honored tonight by CRDC. We were chosen because of their amazing work that they have done for our neighborhood and so many people. This COVID-19 pandemic was found for
Yeah. Okay.
Mental trauma as the events of the past year have overwhelmed so many New Yorkers. So as we begin to emerge from this shared nightmare, it is crucial that we acknowledge the people that made this emergence possible, that helped us get through this really painful past year. And I'm here tonight to thank a very, very special person in particular. I first met Darlene Waters a decade and a half ago. You all know she is a mainstay in Chelsea. She is the former Tenant Association president at the Elliott Chelsea Houses. She worked at the Hudson Guild for decades. She is a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother. She has been involved in community board issues and affordable housing, in making sure that families get the food that they need. Darlene is just the best. She's irreplaceable, honestly. Talk to Ken Jockers at Hudson Guild, talk to Brad Hoylman or Dick Gottfried or Gail Brewer or Jerry Nadler. They will all tell you that Darlene Waters is, as Tina Turner says, simply the best. I love you, Darlene. You and I have been partners and friends for a long time. No one fights harder for their neighbors and their community than you. I am so grateful for your friendship. I'm grateful for your leadership. I'm grateful for your big, tender, amazing heart, because you just help so many people every single day. And you've done so day after day, year after year, decade after decade. So thank you, Darlene. The Chelsea Elliott Houses and all of its residents are better because of you, and so am I. So I'm grateful that you are being recognized tonight, because there's no one that deserves this more than you. Thank you for your work over the past year, for, again, the years of work that you've already done. And I'm sure the amazing work that's still ahead, because I know that tomorrow you'll get up again and continue to go out there to help the children and seniors and families who live in Chelsea. You're the best. So I will be your partner's friend and friend as long as you'll have me. I love you, Darlene. Congratulations. Thank you, CRDC, for honoring Darlene Waters. There's no one better that you could pick. Have a great night. I'm sorry I can't be there live. I'm in the middle of a campaign right now, citywide, but I will go above and beyond for Darlene Waters, because she goes above and beyond for everyone else. Congratulations, Darlene. I love you.
Hi, Darlene. Darlene, would you like?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you like
Thank
to
you
say
so-
something? Would you like to say something? And before you start, I have a change of plans. I got that phone call, which I'm sorry, was from Lieutenant Governor, and she is online. So as soon as Darlene does her thank you, I am going to read about Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul and her and what she does. So thank you, Kathy. And Darlene next, and then I will introduce you. Darlene?
I want to thank Corey Johnson for those nice words that he spoke about me and the community. I would also like to thank you guys for giving me this award. This award right here is an award for the whole community. In the time of need, the community came together. That's what community is all about. I appreciate everything that you've been doing for us. I appreciate everything that our elected official has been doing for us. Corey Johnson, Eric Boucher, Dick, what's his name? Dick Godfrey, sorry. Holloman, so many more, Brewer, so many other people who came and helped us with the pandemic, giving out food, Holy Apostle, the Highline, Avenues, Hudson Yard, Google, and Hudson Gill. And I'm thankful for all the volunteers that came out to help, and especially my board members and the volunteers from each of the buildings in Elliott, Chelsea. Thank you very much.
And now I introduce, thank you, Darlene. And now I'd like to introduce our Lieutenant Governor, Kathy Hochul, who has the highest elected office for women in the state, is the 72nd Lieutenant Governor and the first Democratic one to be elected to a second term, who's the chair of the Lieutenant Governors Association, considers her platform to recruit and support women, leader of the state economic development with a focus on job creation and small businesses, lifelong New York Democrat elected to every level of government, including a long shot special congressional election. She supports affordable care, for which she never wavered despite risking her reelection. She's, last time I left this off, and Brad Hoylman took an issue with me, president of the New York State Senate, and she is on the road practically every day, visiting the 62 counties in New York. And she's here early because she's taking a flight back to her hometown of Buffalo. So thank you for being with us, Lieutenant Governor Kathy.
Well, Francine, thank you for the warm introduction. And to my friends at the Chelsea Reform Dems, I hope you don't mind the music in the background. I'm at the Terminal LGA. I have not been here in over a year and a half, so it's kind of exciting to be back. But I did spend my entire day starting early this morning in the city. And I just want to tell you, I really believe that this city is going to make an incredible comeback. And it's going to be partly because of the Chelsea Reform Dems and your engagement in the community, and to honor the people as you are doing here tonight. People like Darlene, who are the heart and soul of this community. Congratulations, Darlene, and to Joanne and the Penn South Social Services and FDNY EMS Station 7. You have really done everything you could to help us get some semblance of normal. And I'm committed as your friend and your partner, and someone who loves the elected officials represented in this club, because they are fascinating. I've done a lot with them. I was just at a testing site with Brad Hoylman and the Borough President Brewer and many others. We just have been out there all over vaccine sites and testing sites. And I see something here. I see a spark. I see an energy that's been suppressed for an entire year. So I know that people like Fran and Mindy and others are going to be able to harness this and help our candidates win, but also to make sure that we continue electing Democrats. And Francine, thank you for mentioning that special election in the most Republican district in the state. It was literally 1 decade ago next month. And many of you had a role in that. Many of you helped me get elected in that upstate district. And I did lose that seat after voting for the Affordable Care Act, but I would do it all over again. You know that. But I want to tell you, better days are coming. We're going to bring back Broadway and the jobs of the arts and the culturals and the restaurants that have been hit so hard and the small businesses. I'm going to be with you every step of the way, because this city is worth fighting for. And part of it is electing good people. And that's exactly what you are always doing. And I want to thank you for the support you've given me. You've always had my back. I take nothing for granted in this business. It's a little bit rough and tumble, but you have outstanding kids. I see Eric on the call too. Eric, wish you the very best. I know you're going to be successful. And people like Brad Holman and Corey Johnson, we have really some outstanding public servants. And it was an honor for me last October when you allowed me to present an award to my former roommate in Congress, Carolyn Maloney, and people like Jerry Nadler. They make us so proud. But they're only there because you supported them. You got them over the finish line every time, and therefore they're in these positions to be able to help us. And I will close by saying, if you watched Joe Biden last night, I hope you went to bed and woke up this morning with this sense, we're gonna be okay. What a difference an election makes. I know all of you were so engaged in that election last November, and what a difference we made. I think the blood pressure of our entire country has gone down tremendously. I know my stress level has gone down. I just feel like working together, we are going to have a much better, stronger future. And I will be there with you every inch of the way. So thank you, my friends. Thanks for accommodating me. Didn't mean to jump in line here, but I can't make I don't have a private plane. I don't have the state plane. I take good old Delta. So they're not waiting for me. So great to see you. I can't wait to see you in person and give you all a giant collective hug because it's been too long. So thank you again, Mindy. Thanks for your great leadership of this amazing organization.
Thank you very much. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you very much. Good flight.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Now, I have asked Gary, who is a Chelsea resident, as I told you, a multi-talented pianist, vocalist, and composer. But there's one more quick thing that Charles Bayer, who is our executive vice president. Charles, are you ready to talk about our donors? Before Gary is going to do this medley. Hello, Charles? Charles?
I have to unmute myself. I'm okay. I'm fine
Okay,
now.
all right. Charles, and then Gary, you're on.
Okay.
Because I think it'll be fun to hear some music before we hear whoever's going to be our next guest online. And okay, go ahead, Charles. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Charles Bayer. I'm the, besides executive vice president, I'm the incoming district leader, or I should say co-leader with Sylvia. I want to thank everyone for their generous contributions to CRDC. These are the contributions that enable this club to continue its work over the next year. And we raised a considerable amount of money, and we'll be able to continue our activities for the next year in the community. So once again, I'm going to make it very short. Thank you for all of your contributions, and let's move on with this program.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Charles. Brad Lander, Brad, do you have a couple of minutes? Because I asked the musician to do this 6-minute medley before I saw your name. Brad? He has to sign up. Just to answer, I guess he's not ready. Okay.
Brad Roman?
No, Brad Lander.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm only thinking of one Brad, sorry.
Okay. Right, well, maybe you should become Bradley again. But Brad Lander didn't answer me. So we're going to do this 6-minute medley of Broadway shows, New York songs. Gary?
Right.
Gary?
Yes, I'm here. Am I audible? Everything is
Yes.
okay?
Would
All
you
right.
kindly, we have the audience and then we'll go to Brad Lander.
That sounds great. As
you.
everyone's mentioned, it's been a hard year here in New York, and certainly for the arts. And I have the enviable task of getting to serenade this great city, which is on its way back, thanks to all of the hard work of all of us. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. Well, these vagabond shoes, they're longing to stray and step around the heart of it in old New York. I want to wake up in that city that doesn't sleep, to find I'm king of the hill and top of that heap. Oh, these little town blues, they're melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York. In New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of, there's nothing you can't do. In New York, the streets will make you feel brand new, the lights will inspire you. In New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of, there's nothing you can't do. In New York, the streets will make you feel brand new, the lights will inspire you. Some folks like to get away, take a holiday from the neighborhood, pop a flight to Miami Beach or to Hollywood. Me, I'm taking a Greyhound on the Hudson River line. Oh, I'm in a New York state of mind. Seeing all the movie stars in their fancy cars and their limousines. Oh, I've been high in the Rockies under the evergreens. I know what I'm needing, oh, I don't want to waste more time. Oh, I'm in a New York state of mind. It was so easy living day by day, out of touch with the rhythm and blues. But now I need a little give and take. The New York Times, the Daily News. Comes down to reality, oh, it's fine with me, I'm gonna let it slide. I don't care if it's Chinatown or up on Riverside. I don't have any reasons, no, I left those all behind. Oh, I'm in a New York state of mind. It was so easy living day by day, out of touch with the rhythm and blues. But now I need a little give and take. The New York Times, the Daily News. Ah, yeah. comes down to reality, oh, it's fine with me. I'm gonna let it slide. I don't care if it's Chinatown or up on Riverside. I don't have any reasons, no. I left those all behind. Oh, I'm in a New York state of mind.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. It was wonderful. Now, since I asked for Brad Lander first, is Brad here? Okay, he's got a placeholder, but we do have Dan Court, our assemblyman. So Dan, take it away.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the club and inviting me here. I'm so proud to be supported and a sponsor of this important event. And Darlene and to all the rest of the honorees, congratulations. And to the leadership of this club, thank you so much for your, not only your support for my race for district attorney, but you're actually campaigning with me and all our work together at Penn South and everywhere else. And so many people I know and see on the call that I saw maybe 2 hours ago when we were on 28th Street or 26th Street. So I just wanted to, it's not a night for long speeches or political speeches. It's a contested race for district attorney, certainly not getting as much attention as the mayoral race, but it is not a ranked choice voting race. So each and every vote matters, every vote counts. And Chelsea and the Chelsea Reform Democratic Club area is an important area for me to be competitive in. And with this club support, I know that I will. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, the great support I've gotten through individual members of this club and this club in general, and enjoy the evening. And thank you again.
Hi, thank you very much, Brad. Thank you for joining us. Is Dan Court here?
That was just me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is
all right.
Brad,
You mean
I was
Brad.
reading my list. Is Brad Lander?
Dan,
Sorry,
Brad,
Dan.
it's all.
I am here. I apologize.
Listen, is,
But
I've
if
made
Dan's
so
remarks
many-
were good, were Dan's remarks good? Because then I can just claim them. So
Okay. No, they were fine. Are you ready?
I am ready. It's such an honor to be with you. And I just feel thrilled to be with you tonight. And I'm glad to follow Dan. I want to just say a big thank you to Fran and to Sylvia, and of course to the amazing club leaders, Mindy and Charles. I have to say a special thank you to former President David Warren, who's been just an extraordinary supporter of mine in general and during petitioning. Sylvia, it was great to talk to you yesterday. I'm just thrilled to be endorsed by CRDC, and you're just honoring an amazing set of people tonight. Obviously, I want to pause for a minute and just talk about Congressman Nadler, who has been a mentor of mine for my entire career, long before I was in politics, and what he has done in Washington over the last couple of years. Who could imagine he would have had to impeach a president not once, but twice to save our democracy? And I don't think people have really understood the half of the legislation that has moved through the Judiciary Committee under his leadership. It just is really an extraordinary set. And obviously, last week when the verdict came out, to know that the George Floyd Act has the potential to transform policing and racial justice in America, to hold the entire Democratic conference together. It's just been extraordinary, and delivering the relief that our city and our country needs at this time. The biggest of thanks to Congressmember Nadler. And then you've got amazing honorees tonight, and you're going to hear so much about them, but the folks who got us through this pandemic are the ones that deserve just undying praise. I've told a lot of people about what happened at Penn South, and if you build a community of people that have each other's backs, that they can show up to save lives. The fact that Penn South shut down early, that Penn South Social Services has been providing so much support is really extraordinary. So to them, to EMS Station 7, to Joanne and to Darlene, what an extraordinary set of honorees. It's a treasure to be with you. This is an amazing club, an amazing set of honorees. The solidarity you have shown each other is what has gotten us through the last year. And it is the spirit of a just recovery, of the way that we help this city rise to a brighter future, mindful of being more ready for future crises than we were for this one, and of showing up better on grounds of racial and gender and economic justice, and building a real beautiful and powerful city out of this dark time. So thank you so much. It's really a deep, deep honor to be with you. I'm thrilled to have your support. I'm going to fight hard alongside you every step of the way.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brad. And you can get back on your trail now. We were expecting Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney, and I have not seen her appear at this moment. I have not seen Carlina Rivera appear either. And if anyone sees them.
Carolyn is here. Carolyn is here.
Carolyn is here, then let's, yes. Carolyn.
Hang on, this is Adrienne. This is her press secretary. 1 second.
Okay, thank you, Adrienne.
I'm sorry to get everyone so excited.
Oh, wait. Well, Sylvia, do you have something that you want to say? Waiting for Carolyn. Unmute yourself if you do. If you don't.
See, I'm following Charles now, forgetting to unmute myself.
Right.
We're a great team.
We all do it.
We all do it. I just want to say a few words. I hope they're not too long, that these really past 14 months have been very, very challenging for all of us. We're really reminded in many ways that what matters in this world are family, friends, and the experiences that we're able to recall alone, amongst ourselves, with our friends and our loved ones. We've experienced many losses this year, and it's the losses that we find that will hope for a better, bright future and appreciation of the possibilities of the changes that will be coming soon. Gandhi said that a society is judged by the manner in which it treats its most vulnerable. And this usually means the elderly and children. But when we look at this past year, who would have really known that the most vulnerable were almost all of us? In one form or another, we've all taken some form of a beating during this pandemic. The underprivileged, for children, there was a loss of an education. For the elderly, there was the loss in many areas of a loved one to care for them, or to greet them with a smile, or to put a hand on their shoulder. For many of us, there was a sense of isolation, loneliness, despair, and real fear, not imaginary fear that, that most of our fears never happen. This one was quite possible that it could happen to us. We were afraid for ourselves, our loved ones, and especially for our children. 100 years ago, our population was smaller, and only the privileged had the good fortune to experience a high school education or a college education and receive very good medical care. Yet today, despite the enormous wealth in our country, many youngsters in this great city lost the ability to attend school even by Zoom because they didn't have computers or Wi-Fi. This pandemic brought home the fact that despite our advanced society, in many respects, we have not advanced that much at all, and we weren't sophisticated enough to plan in advance. We're living through a period of great unexpected change. One thing is for sure, that we know this time we're all connected. In one way or another, we're all in this together. And I hope that our political leaders are correct. I'm sure they're going to fight for us very, very hard in getting new programs up and running to help the elderly, the children, the homeless, those that are really needed in our society. This evening with respect to our board of CDRC acknowledges those that have given so much to us and our Chelsea community. Our awardees take the form of our fire department, frontliners, those in social services, a CRDC activist, and an Elliott Chelsea Tenants Association member, a president. These are the heroes of the evening, and we owe them an enormous, enormous debt of gratitude for their selflessness and the service that they've given to others. In the coming months and years, as we rebuild New York City together, we will be addressing many issues: the homeless, job recovery, building of affordable housing, the needy. And as we do so, we're going to be honoring at CRDC a generation of new stars and leaders and frontliners. These new rising stars will also be running soup kitchens for the hungry and providing shelter for those who are homeless and assisting many who were once incarcerated adapt and adjust to a new life. As district leader of CRDC, I want to extend our sincere thanks to Francine, our state committee woman, for her very hard work and effort in putting together this year's program, and to the others that were organizing tonight's event. For all of you who have been supporters of CRDC over the years, to our political family, present and long gone, who have left an indelible footprint for us to go forth and carry on, to New York City's judges, our finest and soon to be judges and their spouses who continue to support us, to CRDC's past leaders, district leaders, to my former co-leader, Stephen Skiles Mulligan, to those who have mentored our members in the value of service to our neighbors, and also to my new co-leader, Charles Bayer, as we form a strong union and extend CRDC's community onward and forward. I'm very hopeful that we'll be seeing each other face to face soon this summer. And if we can't give each other a great big hug, at least we're going to be giving each other an elbow. The governor says he's opening up New York City soon. Actually, it's the mayor who says he's opening up New York City soon. And if that's the case, I'm hoping that to see all of you, especially if we're able to have this year's barbecue down at the waterfront. So once again, I want to thank all of you for coming and for being longstanding supporters of CRDC. And now I'll give it back to you, Fran, so you can announce our Congressman who's sitting here waiting.
Good evening, Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney. I thought you would don't forget to unmute yourself. I thought you would wear your outfit that you wore last night. Anyhow, making a joke. Please unmute yourself, Carolyn. No.
Good to see you.
Okay.
Okay.
Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney, who is the chairwoman of the Oversight Committee and who recently introduced with Congresswoman Omar an affordable housing protection. And she tomorrow is leading the effort to bring a pop-up vaccination site to Cooper Park houses. So welcome back to New York from your place in Washington, and tell us what you'd like.
Oh, thank you, Fran. Thank you for introducing me so graciously. I'm so honored to be here with CRDC's virtual award ceremony. I literally just walked in the door from Washington just a few moments ago, and I was one of a few guests invited to attend President Biden's joint address to Congress. Because of COVID, we were separated, and it was very strange to be there. It's usually hundreds of people, but I don't even think we were 100 with both sides in the balcony. I thought his speech was great. He reminded Americans of the challenges we've endured over the past year, as Sylvia pointed out, has been tough on all of us in different ways, and how we've united since January 20th to face them head on. It's amazing how much we've accomplished. The president promised to have shots in the arm of 100 million people, 220 million have it, and we'll have enough doses soon for every American in our country with the vaccine combating the virus. And the president emphasized that we need to seize this opportunity to build on the progress of the first 100 days and make it once in a generation investment to create jobs. He's being compared to FDR with all these bold plans that he's putting forward. Thanks to his leadership and congressional Democrats, our country is back on track. For the third consecutive week, weekly unemployment claims fell to a new pandemic era low, and the economy grew to a robust 6.4% annualized rate. I don't think it's been that high the whole time I've been in Congress. While these numbers are good news, we still have a long way to go until we're fully recovered. Last month, I had the opportunity to vote on and pass the American Rescue Plan. It's the most exciting plan coming to New York. It's bringing so much money. I was proud to help lead the efforts in the committee that I chair for special aid to cities and states and territories and tribes that brought substantial funding to our city and state, and over 100 million to New York State and direct grants to people with the $1,400 grant to get the shots in the arm, put food on the table, and help small businesses survive. And with the effective distribution of vaccine and the aid to the American Rescue Plan, Americans across the country are beginning to go back to work. Small businesses are beginning to open their doors, and Americans' lives are beginning to return. In that plan, we were able to get roughly 35 million just for restaurants to help our 35 billion for restaurants to reopen, which is important to Chelsea. I'm also excited about the American Families Plan, which invests in our kids' families, our economic future. This is especially exciting and important to me since I've spent my entire career fighting for families. And I am relieved that we finally have a president who understands the importance of families and how critical they are to our city and nation's recovery. Right now, too many New Yorkers are struggling to meet basic needs and cover basic expenses. An economy that fails so many of us is not only unfair, it is unsustainable. And the American Families Plan is a once-in-a-generation investment in the foundations of middle-class prosperity, education, healthcare, and childcare. Beyond helping families meet the needs of today, this plan powers the innovation and growth of tomorrow with a historic expansion and access to quality education and childcare. And I've already brought the money that we brought from the rescue plan. We are expanding 3K is going to be available to every school district across this country. And I worked with Ben Kalos and the mayor to make that happen. But also in the Families Act, there's so much there. Free 2 years of community college free for all Americans, pre-K, pre-4, universal access to healthcare, all kinds of, it's wonderful. And on top of that, the American Jobs Plan, which is the infrastructure plan, and I will have a very sharp pencil to get as much money on these formulas to our great city. We certainly need it. We are a resilient city with resilient people. I can't be more proud to represent it in Congress. And I'm also incredibly proud to represent so many great, great members of CRDC. You're a great club, a great supporter of our party, and a fabulous group of people. I'm so delighted to be here with you, all of you, to answer your questions. I want to particularly thank your president, Mindy, and your club leaders, Sylvia, Fran, and Mark, for all you do every day and for inviting me to speak. I'm so thrilled to be here. And as we say in DC, I yield back, but I'd be glad to answer any of your questions.
Okay, thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Is there any other politician? I have not seen anybody like Carlina Rivera, who's supposed to be here, and Charles Schumer, who made no commitment, but sometimes pops in. So is there anybody else? Mindy, you see anybody? I don't want to miss anybody.
I do not. I'm looking quickly.
Okay.
We've had 8 mayoral candidates. We're not having a mayoral forum this weekend. Maybe we'll have a few more, but we've had 8 of the candidates speak to our club leaders. And next week, we're supposed to be on District Work Week, but I'm passing bills out on reform, on transparency, protecting IGs from being badgered so that they're more independent. We're having a very important hearing on Black maternal health. These studies show that more Black women die in childbirth by a high disproportionate number. And with all the African-American women members on the committee, they are leading what I think is going to be a historic hearing and will transform how we meet this challenge and how we work on it. And then following that, the next week, I am having a hearing on postal reform to try to get that back on track. So I'm having a lot of work that helps people that I'm getting out to help you. I hope people can go to my website and sign up for my email and social media for the campaign and for government so we can keep in touch with what's happening. A lot's happening in Congress. Biden is just hitting the ground running. I've never seen so much activity and so much time that's important to help people. And last week we reported out DC statehood, which is an important bill, very much important for our country, and would give them the right to vote and participate more in our government.
Carolyn, what is the procedure for DC statehood? Is it the 2 houses? Is there an amendment that has to be?
We have had 22 states join our union, and all of them came through legislation. Now the Republicans are claiming it has to be a constitutional amendment, but that's not in the Constitution. They don't want it. So they're throwing up barriers. We passed it in the House of Representatives. It's now in the Senate. The Senate has to pass it, and then it goes to Biden. That's why the filibuster is so important. The Republicans are opposed to it. They're saying they need 60 votes, but this is so important. Maybe we can make an exception and just have a majority vote. As you know, we have a majority vote. We passed the American Rescue Plan, which brought more money to the city than I've ever seen. And we deserve it. We've been through such a hard time. And a lot of it is creative, it's flexible for where the mayor or the governor thinks it needs to go. So it has to get through the vote unless they invoke the filibuster, which I'm sure they will.
What is their problem with objecting to DC becoming a state other than financial?
Two senators.
Francine's got it. 2 senators. They get 2 senators. You know, and I think they shouldn't put politics before our core principle of giving people the right to vote. We're the only country where the people in the Capitol don't have the right to vote and self-representation. So we need to give that to them, but they make it all political. They say it's just about getting two senatorial votes, and they're just very much opposed. So they're opposed to it for political and power purposes. They call it a power grab. I say the real power grab is them grabbing the over 1,700,000 members of the District of Columbia that are deprived of their right to vote and representation. And I think it's very interesting because when you look at the facts, there are 2 states that have less population than DC. That's Vermont and Wisconsin. And they pay more per capita than any other state in the country in their taxes, and more than most of the states, half the states. So they're a participating group, a district, and it should be a state. I yield back.
How many congressmen would they get? How many more congressmen? I don't know how.
They have roughly 700,000 people, and they have 712,000 to be exact. And each congressional district is supposed to be 750,000 people. That's how many people I represent. And so they would only have 1 congressional seat. And like, I think it's South Dakota, they only have 1 member of Congress. And Vermont only has 1 member of Congress and 2 senators.
It's the senators, because that would totally upend the power structure if you were 2 extra senators, who I know would be Democrats.
Madam Congressman, there's 2 questions in the chat. So if someone could read, Mindy, maybe you can read those questions in the chat for the Congresswoman. One was about Gateway and one was about the Electoral College.
Okay.
And then Mindy, I
actually-
have a question.
Sure. Okay. Well, no, actually, David, you asked the questions. There was one question from Jonathan. What's up with Gateway? And Gary, any hope for the elimination of the Electoral College?
Well, that's a complicated process, the Electoral College. We've been trying to eliminate it for a long time, a group of us, and that's got to be a constitutional amendment. And given the fact that we have so many small states, red states, it's going to be hard to get it ratified. As you know, I've been trying to get the ERA ratified the whole time I've been in Congress. We finally got it ratified by 38 states, and we still haven't gotten the Congress to remove the deadline to verify that ratification. So that's complicated. And the other one was Gateway. This new jobs program, they're calling it a jobs program, but it's really infrastructure. And Gateway will definitely be in there. Also in our district, my district, we are going up to 125th Street for the 2nd Avenue subway. We have the East Side, the Queens Manhattan connector with a stop in Sunnyside Yards that I'm trying to get. And I think nothing would grow the economy more than high-speed rail between New York and Boston. So I'm working to try to get that in. I have one question. I think the most important thing we're confronting now is that we have to get our people vaccinated. And once we get everybody vaccinated, we can get in front of this virus so it doesn't mutate and keep spreading and going. And we have to get herd immunity to get there. So I'm working very hard on that. Every day I have another vaccination site I'm pushing. Are there any vaccination sites that we should bring a van or we call them pop-ups, where you come in just for the day and vaccinate people that's in my side of the district? If there is, I'll work very hard to get the vaccination vans or pop-ups in for our people.
Stuyvesant Town is in your district, Carolyn?
Yes.
Well, to me, that's, there's lots of land there. It would be easy to put the trailer or however you do it, or a couple, it's easy. I would absolutely go with Stuyvesant Town.
Francine, that's why you're state committee. You have brilliant answers. Thanks so much. I'm going to go to work on it. David, good to see you. Gary, good to see you. Mindy, Francine. It's so much fun, these Zooms. You can,
Well-
rush in from Washington and get to see you right there.
Carolyn, we have something that's right up your alley. The last time you were with us, remember we opened up the mics and you spent a lot of time with us and we were chit-chatting. So we are going to be we have in 25 minutes left of until 9 o'clock, and that was our plan. I was waiting for Carlina Rivera, who's not here, and anybody else who is a politician who wants to speak. But Mindy, let me say my thank yous that I want to say. And as we agreed, you would do the open mic kind of thing, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you to everyone. May I extend a special thanks for helping us in the technology department. We are now expected to be technological pros. And the person who meets that better than anybody else in our group is Mark, where are you? Mark Gottlieb. And I think he's left. He has left because he had some kind of a computer problem. So anyhow, I would like, and thank you everybody else who was on the committee, who helped out, Charles, Michael, Sylvia. And so there is one song left to be sung. Mindy, maybe we can ask Gary to sing it. It's called How It Feels to Be Free. And that's a special song. Should we do it now?
Of course.
Okay, Gary?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And then
All right. Am I once again audible, visual, all that? We're good?
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
I had the privilege many years ago to study with Dr. Billy Taylor, who wrote this song, became a giant hit for Nina Simone and kind of an anthem of the civil rights movement. And like a lot of great art, it captures that moment perfectly and the perspective of an African-American man in the 1960s. And also like great art, it transcends that to become a universal anthem that I think everyone can relate to. And I think there's no better audience for this than this club of people who understand the combination of frustration and hope that leads to change. I wish I could know how it feels to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say 'em loud and say 'em clear for the whole round world to hear. I wish that I could share all the love that's in my heart. Remove all the parts that keep us apart. I wish you could know how it feels to be me. Then you'd see and agree everyone should be free. I wish that I could share all the love that's in my heart. I wish that I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things that I can do, though it's way overdue, I'd be starting anew. Oh, I wish that I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be to find out that I can fly. I'd soar to the sun. Oh, I'd look down on the scene. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know. Yes, I'd sing, 'cause I know. I'd sing, 'cause I know how it feels to be free.
Thank you, thank you.
Bravo.
Very much.
Very, very nice.
Thank you, Gary. You've made a wonderful evening even more wonderful.
Yes, thank you. And before I say, say my couple of words and opening it up to everyone, Sylvia has a few words first.
No evening at Chelsea, no event at Chelsea, whether it be hamburgers and hot dogs and veggie burgers, or a spring brunch that we're without the brunch, or our holiday parties, no event is ever more precious than seeing our judges in New York City come and visit us. As we all know, we lost a giant of a man this year. We lost a former president of our club, but we haven't lost our judges that keep rolling in. I have always said, as a member of judiciary and the district leader, the female district leader of this club, that one of our last bastions of hope in New York City was always the fact that you can't touch our judges. Our judges are the best, they're the brightest, they're the finest, I think, of any county, anywhere. And I still feel the same way. I will fight for our judges all the time. And if there's any fight that anybody's ever had with me or a disagreement, it's been over something that was said or might happen to our judges, especially when our judges were forced to walk out the door and retire at 70. But I have a very strong heart for our judges, and I want to thank those that have come to see us tonight and to share tonight with us. We've got Louis Knock here tonight, and we've got our own Paul Getz, who's been a member of this club forever. We've got David Cohn. Hi, David, how are you? Sabrina Kraus, Judge Kraus, she's still on. Hi, Sabrina. JJ Kelly was up in every one of the corners of this frame tonight. Thanks for coming, JJ, and supporting us. Margaret Chan. Margaret, there she is. She's in the other corner. Thank you. Judy Kim, who we haven't seen for a long time, but I saw Judy's on tonight. Thank you for coming, Judy. Jeffrey Zellen, who's here tonight. He's running countywide. Lisa Sokoloff, where are you, Lisa? Lisa Sokoloff's on tonight. Hi, Louie. I'm glad you put your frame on.
My video's not working. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's good to see you. It's good to see Louis Knock. Suzanne Adams is on tonight. Where are you, Suzanne?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's
There
wonderful to
you are.
see you. Hope
Now,
to see
I'm
you soon.
sure I've missed somebody. Have I missed anybody? Good to see you, Suzanne. We never get to see the judges unless there's an event. And I want to thank you all for supporting us, for coming tonight and being with us. I really hope that if there's any kind of way we can pull together a fast barbecue before the state the Supreme Court convention this year, that we can do it and we can see everyone. And I love you all. I'm really happy to see all of you. So I'll throw it back to you, Mindy.
Sylvia,
And
Kim Parker.
Kim Parker, didn't I say Kim Parker? I had her down. Where's Kim Parker?
Hi, everyone. I'm here.
Where are you? There you are.
Hi.
Kim,
I'm
we
here
have to
feeding the
thank-
baby.
Oh, she's not only a new mother, but we want to thank you always for coming around with many of our other judges and petitioning with us over the years. And we want to wish you and Jeffrey and the best of luck this year.
Thank you
in
so much.
becoming civil court judges.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
exciting.
Thank you,
And
CRDC.
okay.
Thank you very
So,
much, Sylvia.
now, I didn't really blow it by missing Kim, who's been such a great help over the years. I'll throw it back to you, Mindy. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. And I just want to start by just sharing a really, really brief story. One of my,
Mindy, I don't mean to interrupt you, but Carlina Rivera just joined.
Oh,
okay. Let me take it back. Carlina Rivera.
I apologize, Mindy.
Nope, it's okay. Thank you, David.
Carlina, I am glad that you made it. Hello.
Hi. I'm
Hi.
here.
Hi, Carlina.
I just wanted to say hi to everyone.
City Council District 2.
That's right. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Carlina Rivera. I am the councilwoman for District 2. Some fabulous neighborhoods, Lower East Side, East Village, Flatiron, Gramercy Park, Kips Bay, Rose Hill, Murray Hill. And of course, I have just, I'm really here to just thank you all again. You continue to really just set the bar for political organizations, for good people, for people who care about their communities. I know you have some really wonderful honorees tonight, and I wanted to just make sure that I acknowledge FDNY EMS Station 7, Penn South Social Services, Joanne, Darlene, just really great people. And I know that, I don't know about you, but like even seeing yesterday, right, the presidential address to Congress, I can just say what a difference. What a wonderful kind of testament to all the things that we've been working for over the past few years. And I know when we're looking at candidates up and down the ballot, what I love about you all is that you make sure whether you're a candidate to be a judge, a judicial delegate, a district leader, our state electeds, or even the city council, that we're really all working together. So I wanted to thank you all. Today we had a big stated meeting where we passed some great bills on tenant protection and open space. And when it comes to housing and food and education, and especially health services, you all have been really just instrumental in kind of my just development professionally and personally. So I want to thank you for your guidance and for your dedication. And of course, for all the stellar community leaders in this Zoom, for everything that you continue to do. It's tireless, and I know you're all our volunteers. So I wanted to say thank you, and of course, congratulations to the awesome honorees that you all have really acknowledged tonight.
Thank you so much, Carlina. Good seeing you.
Thank you, Carlina.
Okay, so just for those of you that don't know, I am a special ed teacher, public school special ed teacher. And one of my colleagues asked me yesterday from my union, because Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up. And he was asking me what makes a hero. And I'm thinking about it. It's like sympathy, empathy, being present. But then I was thinking about all that we had to overcome this past year, switching to remote and all just, I'm sure everyone here has seen the headaches with the mayor and the chancellor and everything. And I said, you know what? We survived 2020. We're all heroes because, we all stepped up. We all did what we could, where we could, whether in our field or in our community. And this past year, I know that, our honorees have been so tireless in their activities doing for the community. So I had to write down the names of who I was thanking, because I know I'll always leave out people. So, and I'll start with Carlina since I didn't write your name down yet, but I see you in the corner. So thank you, Carlina, Brad Lander, Carolyn Maloney, Dan Quart, Jerry Nadler, Brad Hoylman, Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, for the video message, Corey Johnson, Eric Botcher, Kathy Nazari, and Sylvia DiPietro for speaking this evening. Thank you so much, Fran, for for being the moderator on this. Let's see, and of course to the awardees. Congratulations, Joanne Sinovoi, Penn South Social, Darlene Waters, and FDNY EMS Station 7. Congratulations, well deserved. And last but not least, I would like to thank our exec. So I want to thank for right now, my current VP and soon to be district leader. Thank you so much, Charles. I love your bow tie. Mwah. Thank you, Sylvia, Mark, Fran, David, Amber, Jerry, Luana, Lowell, Donathan, Michael, Joe, Wyatt, Frank, and Kathy. Thank you all. And I just want to say this has been a wonderful event. Thank you, Gary, for the wonderful music, everyone that came on. And at this point, we have a few minutes. We can open it up. So if you want to say something, say hi, ask a question, here you go. You can unmute yourselves. We're free.
I just want to say hi to everybody here. It's good to see you all. It was a really fun event. I want to congratulate all the honorees. And it's just nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was great to see everyone. And yes, Sophia, definitely the barbecue.
The veggie burgers that David said, Sylvia, it's not the hamburgers, it was the veggie burgers. So
I got to try it this time.
We've got to pull it together because that's always something that's so much fun. Everyone comes and everyone comes before they'd go to another club or something like that. It would at least get us out and be amongst each other. And I think soon we'll probably, those of us that have 2 shots in us will be taking off our masks. I mean, I'm ready. I mean,
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm with you.
So I'd be very excited just to see everybody's face, like to see a person and not to see another human being on Zoom. I should be grateful for Zoom, and I am, but you really lose a lot with the human touch. I mean,
I miss my students horribly. You know, it's because I mean, I was a cluster science teacher, so I saw all my students. So that was about 100. But now, since I'm remote, I have 4 because it's a District 75 school. So it's like 4 kids out of the rest, and it's like I miss all my biddies. I can't wait to see them again in person. I don't mind the elbow. It's, you know, I miss them, and I miss all of us in person also in our meetings. So I love this. I mean, put you all on the grid guru view so I could see all of you, and it's just wonderful. Thank you again, everybody.
Please come. I'm going to really try to get that barbecue together. That would really be a lot of fun for all of us. And it's going to be hot, and God knows no one's going to want to wear a mask. And maybe we could even serve drinks this time. I think we served beer and wine the last time. I mean, this is really martini time. It's like so bad. Anyway, I really want
champagne.
Champagne, that's right. That's right, Mindy, you're right. We should make it a champagne barbecue, a champagne veggie barbecue. So don't think we can't pull this off, because that's a possibility.
If we can do it, we will do it.
Stay safe and healthy, everyone.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone. Carlina. Thank you. Any new bill? What kind of legislation did you put up today, Carlina?
Today we passed an expansion of right to counsel, which is for tenants that need an attorney in court. We've kind of broadened the scope of that. And then the bill that I passed was to make permanent the open streets in our communities, with a lot of parameters in there, of course, making sure open streets happen in communities that want them, but making sure that they're a resource and we don't depend on volunteers.
Well,
So it was pretty-
congratulations and good
Thank
for
you.
us. That's great.
Yeah, thank you. I
This is
think
terrific.
it's been great, right? It's led to outdoor learning. It's led to open culture. So it was a big bill that I got to pass. It took a little over a year, but I'm glad that we took this much time. And yeah,
Carlina,
it was
what about the outdoor dining stuff? What's going to be with that?
Oh, that's a good question. This is a different from that. That's a different bill. Antonio,
They go hand in hand in some
yeah, they do. It depends. I mean, some outdoor dining, some blocks, right, have done really well, right? Like there's a beautiful block in Hell's Kitchen that I've seen that looks almost magical. Well, according to Eric Botcher, can't take a bad photo or video. It's like beautiful Hell's Kitchen thing, and it looked lovely. I know that some places, I know some community boards have mixed
They're
feelings.
crying out loud.
So we're trying to get it figured out. And figure out a permanent way to implement it that is agreeable to everyone. So that's still in the works.
Carl, thank you for your legislation for the delivery people, because that's so important that these poor people, they don't even get a chance to go to the bathroom. So thank you. I was very impressed. I saw that in street blogs.
Yeah, I introduced that today. It's bills to help our delivery workers who, not all restaurants, but many were denying them basic access to things like the restroom, which is really just a question of our humanity. And so we have a few bills that'll help we're working with the app companies, since some of them are employed by the app, some of them are employed directly by the restaurant, but trying to figure out how we can also get more education to the delivery workers so they can understand the rules of the road, while also understanding how they can get paid and what rights they should have, because they often feel invisible considering they are immigrant New Yorkers. So great groups leading that effort, and thank you for bringing that up. I'm really proud of that package.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? We can unmute.
David Cohen had his hand. David, you had your hand up?
I was just waving goodnight to everybody.
Well, okay, well.
It was so nice to see you all, and this was a great program. Thanks for having me
It's
along.
great seeing you, and we're like just a couple of minutes shy at 9 o'clock, but if
Don't go to the end on my account. I would dismiss class early if I were you, Mindy.
Well, actually, well, I was going to say yes, at 8:57, 3 minutes early, we can declare class finished early. So on that note, everyone is dismissed, so everyone can have the most wonderful good night.
Good night, everybody.
See you soon.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks
Bye,
again.
everyone. God
Good night,
bless.
everyone.
Stay safe.
Long evening.
CRDC.
Hopefully we'll all be back together soon.
Hopefully. But it was great
These are all the
seeing you the
judges
other
too.
week.
We will. Think positive.
I am. I'm thinking positive. My daughter's coming surgery tomorrow morning. She broke her ankle, so I'm like, crazy day, crazy time for me.
Yeah,
I make arrangements for Saturday. She wants me to come up to Westchester. So,
I mean, even
don't
de
ask.
Blasio was saying about how we were going to open up of July, so I was waiting for Cuomo's response.
I heard it live.
So of course now he's like, well, I think it's going to be sooner. You know, I was
can't
just
believe that he said
back and forth. It's oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Nightmare. All
Okay,
right.
everyone, let's have a good night, Fran. Mwah,
right.
Thank you. This came
Welcome.
off fantastically, according to schedule. No
Perfect.
surprises. This was wonderful.
Right. We didn't get photo bombed this time at the last.
Oh yeah. I was being hyper vigilant with that, with the
Did good.
crashers. Yeah, that was not fun last time.
No, sorry. No, it's life.
Okay.
All
Have a
right.
good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
I think after 14 hours of being on the computer, I can close this thing. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Good job. Thanks for
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
welcome.
Yeah,